Woe to you of earth and sea.
Welcome to Satan is My Superhero, a show for atheists, scoffers, heathens, and unbelievers. I'm your host, Judas Falling. In this episode, we follow up Fun Satanic Hoaxes by looking at how Lord of Flies is used by the dark side of the Force. Demonstrably dishonest diatribe designed to deceive, damage, and destroy, distributed by disingenuous dickheads driving division, dissension, and dividends, has always been a thing. I don't know how long it was between the first human inventing the first god and then coming up with the first devil, but I'd bet you could count it in minutes.
It was 4 minutes. I mean, that's not the way it happened at all. I'm self-created, and might I just add, I did a damn fine job.
So let's have a look at some of the hoaxes where Satan has been thrown into the mix to maximize harm and or profit. In 1977, McDonald's founder Ray Kroc appeared on the Phil Donahue TV show. An urban legend began that Kroc had told Phil and the viewing audience McDonald's donates money to the Church of Satan.
Oh, the days before VCRs. You know, I actually invented toddlers putting their toast in them. You can blame me for that one.
Obviously, I feel it goes without saying that a CEO, company president, founder, whatever, appearing on television confessing to worshipping the devil and siphoning a publicly listed company's profits into the Church of Satan never happened.
I'm confused. You just said it goes without saying and then you went ahead and said it.
When asked how this rumor might have started, Kroc replied,
I don't think holy of our competition, but I don't think they'd stoop that low.
Oh, Ray, you sweet, innocent old man.
Oh, Lord Satan, please make my hamburger chain successful.
Sure, but I reserve the right to put the ice cream machine out of service anytime I feel like annoying people.
In the 90s, Liz Claiborne, founder of the fashion house Liz Claiborne Inc., was also accused of appearing on the Phil Donahue show, admitting to donating funds to the Church of Satan.
You would think with all that corporate cash flowing in, the Church of Satan would look less like a dilapidated old house and more like a Joel Osteen facility. Now there's some devil dollars being used properly.
Interestingly, an alternative version of this purely fictional tale has Claiborne on the Oprah Winfrey Show making satanic and racist comments.
You get a demon! You get a demon! You get a demon!
It's hard to say exactly when this next urban legend first began. Some say it has been around since the 60s, but the earliest reference I could find about it dates to a story in the Minneapolis Tribune on March the 25th, 1980.
That was a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, when this boy had time to play. Now this man's got bills to pay, on eBay, with BPay.
This rumour was about household goods company Proctor Gamble, who started life producing candles in the 19th century. In its first incarnation, the rumour began claiming the company logo, which I would describe as a man's face representing the moon and 13 stars, was really a satanic symbol.
This new electric light bulb is going to destroy the candle business.
Don't worry about it. Satanists will always need candles.
Oh, thank Christ for the Satanists.
Yes, quite literally thank Christ for the Satanists.
How is it satanic, I hear you ask? Insert any reason you want here. Anything has a satanic inference if you yourself infer it. I won't bother you with the details, but they encompass the way the Moon Man's hair curls, the fact he looks like he might have horns, the fact that there are 13 stars, and many other made-up reasons.
Why do you think it's a satanic symbol?
Well, it's not explicitly Christian, so it must be satanic.
You know, every piece of Christian iconography you've ever seen is by definition satanic. I'd refer you to Exodus 20, Leviticus 26, and Habakkuk 2.
What are those?
They're books of the Bible.
The Bible? Never read it.
In that 1980 article I mentioned, they interviewed Jim Peters, a name I'm sure means nothing to you. Well, he is the brother of Dan and Steve Peters, who I'm sure the names of also mean nothing to you, unless you're an old metal nerd like me.
My guitar's gone out of tune, and I split my pants when I tried to moon you. I mean, where do headbangers go when they get old?
The Peters brothers were a bunch of preachers out of the Zion Christian Life Center in Minnesota who launched an all-out war on rock music in the 80s. I only mention them here because they will turn up again when I finally get around to doing another metal episode. But in the meantime, Jim Peters claimed the Moon Man symbol had an Egyptian origin.
And we all know what that means.
Absolutely nothing. Procter & Gamble eventually got so sick and tired of this persistent rumour they dropped the 2-century-old logo. Writing for the Chicago Tribune in 1985, problematic columnist, author, commentator and former Alice Cooper roadie Bob Greene expressed his anger at this in a piece called
"All who believe this are just plain stupid."
In it, Greene said,
The company, as you might imagine, is quite frustrated about all of this. On the one hand, it does not want to appear to be backing down because of a malicious and false rumor. On the other hand, so many people are ready to believe the rumor that the company really has no other choice. The people have spoken with consummate ignorance.
But despite dropping the logo, the rumour persisted and the story grew some new tentacles. Now the claim went that Procter & Gamble was run by Satanists and a large portion of the company's profits were donated directly to, drumroll please, Church of Satan.
O Dark Prince, I kneel before you in submission to your evilness. I ask but one thing in return for my immortal soul.
Yes, what is it? Money? Fame? Power?
No, your lordship, I would ask for the formula to anti-dandruff shampoo.
All of this was admitted to by a Procter & Gamble CEO who appeared on a talk show in 1994. Sound familiar? Wanna guess which talk show?
Welcome to the Phil Donahue Show. Every week, another CEO proclaims their love of Satan.
Donahue's people made an official statement refuting this allegation. The story was adjusted to claim the event had occurred on the Jenny Jones Show. Just like Donahue, Jenny Jones put out a media statement regarding this rumour. Then it was alleged to have happened on the Sally Jessy Raphael Show. The date and the show get changed all the time as the story evolves. It's all irrelevant. It never happened. But I think Sally Jessy's statement about the whole saga sums it up the best. Her people wrote,
If we had this man on our show and he had said what it's alleged he said, we would have scored a broadcasting scoop and would have trumpeted it to all the newspapers. It would have been to the show's advantage, but there was no scoop and there were no headlines.
But would it be a scoop? Wealthy business person doesn't follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. Also, the sky is blue.
Throughout the 90s and into the early 21st century, Procter & Gamble received more than 200,000 calls and letters from concerned citizens regarding this rumour. They had to set up a special toll-free number just to deal with this crap.
You have reached Procter & Gamble. If you would like to speak to one of our sales representatives, press 1. If you have a complaint about one of our products, press 2. If you are calling in relation to rumors you have heard about the company being involved with a satanic cult, please press
6. And bite me.
So far, just another urban legend floating around. Nothing special, you might say. What makes this hoax interesting is not the overly stimulated pattern recognition mind and willful ignorance of your average conspiracy theorist, but who kept it alive. In 1995, Procter & Gamble filed a lawsuit against multi-level marketing company Amway. Procter & Gamble alleged Amway distributors had been using Amway's national voicemail system to spread these satanic rumors.
Please stand by for a pre-recorded message from your local distributor.
Hi, I hope you're having a great day. This month we're running a special on...
Jesus Christ, Jerry! I can't get the car in the garage! Are you gonna sell any of this shit? My mother was right about you.
Get off my back, you shrieking harpy! I'm working on it right now. My mother was right about you.
What was that?
Love you. God damn it, and now I'm out of time. Procter & Gamble worship Satan. Have a great day.
Amway did not dispute this claim. They only argued whether or not it actually damaged Procter & Gamble's business. 12 years and millions of dollars later, in March 2007, Proctor Gamble finally won the case. I would be giving you a much skewed, one-sided story if I did not mention, in the publicly available court documents, Amway do provide a very long list of actions they had taken to stop their distributors spreading this rumour. They also detail a smear campaign Proctor & Gamble had going against them around the same time. So, you know.
What can I say? Selling soap is a dirty business.
Let's go, boy! I'm going to take a short break from the show right now to talk about my sponsors and Patreon. I don't currently have sponsors or Patreon, but if you'd like to support the show, you can do that by buying my novel. It's called Chaos Machine by Judas Fawley. It's available through Amazon. You don't need a Kindle to read it. Almost any digital device will do. Don't forget, Chaos Machine by Judas Fawley. Now, back to the show. In 2011, Al and Alice Lunden published
Jesus the Winemaker, Satan's Most Effective Lie.
The Lundens claim mentions in the Bible of wine are actually referring to non-alcoholic grape juice. While the good book is inerrant, it is Satan himself who has tricked us all into believing the very first recorded case of drink spiking was when Jesus got a bunch of wedding guests royally drunk.
How much have you had to drink tonight, sir?
Nothing, officer. I swear I've been drinking water all night.
Really? Why aren't you wearing any pants?
Are you calling me a liar? I'll fight you.
All right, sir, get in the back of the paddy wagon.
Excuse me, officer.
What?
I love you. Hey, where are my pants?
The Lundens managed to fill an 88-page book with this historically ignorant garbage about pre-industrial, pre-refrigeration, pre-pasteurization civilization making grape juice instead of wine. I only bothered going as far as Wikipedia for this one.
According to Wikipedia, the method of pasteurizing grape juice to halt fermentation has been attributed to an American physician and dentist, Thomas Bramwell Welch, in 1869.
I'm sure there were methods to stop or slow the fermentation of grapes that predate Welch, but they weren't doing it on the scale required in the 1st century. The only non-alcoholic beverage available in the alleged time of the Messiah was water, which actually, when you think about it, would make more sense if, Boy Wonder had changed water into frickin' water. And if that wasn't enough ignorance of easily researched facts, they also seem to have released a 58-page follow-up titled
Christianity's Hoax, Jesus the Winemaker.
I didn't bother reading the sequel. Now, this would seem like a harmless, if not ridiculously stupid, satanic conspiracy theory. I can't see Christianity giving up the wine stories anytime soon, and even if it did, would that be such a bad thing? On the face of it, the only harm this satanic hoax does is damage the credibility of the Holy Bible.
I have to protest. As a pure logic machine, it makes my circuits overheat, and not in the good way, when you use credibility and the Holy Bible in the same sentence.
But closer inspection of the text uncovers a blatant American Protestant attack on the Catholic Church, claiming the Roman Emperor Constantine forged a secret alliance between church and state, which still exists today.
That's not a secret. It's common knowledge the Roman government was a theocracy. They deified their dead emperors, for crying out loud. Even after the fall of the empire, European monarchs still sought approval from the Pope in Rome. Just how uneducated did these Lundens expect their audience to be? Oh, evangelicals, right. I see now. Carry on.
And by now, I'm sure you know the tropes that attacking Catholics inevitably leads to. Secret cabals of Jews, the deep state, a new world order, and of course,
the Freemasons.
Howdy, it's the Reverend Steph here. Most of the music in this episode was supplied by the comedy disco punk band The Genuine Hoots of Joy. If you want to hear the songs in their entirety, check out Hoots of Joy on YouTube. You might recognise the lead singer. Okay, it's me.
In 2020, Christian author Roderick Millington published a book,
The Devil's Playground.
In it, he claims to have recorded 21 audio clips of the devil saying stuff like,
"Come into the fire, come to me."
Millington made these recordings through the medium of electronic voice phenomenon. EVP for short has been used to con people in the paranormal research game since the mid-20th century.
In a nutshell.
Anyone who records audio will tell you there is a lot of hiss and static in raw recordings. If you want to, you can concentrate really hard and convince yourself you've heard voices and maybe even words and sentences in all that white noise. Here's some raw audio from my studio that hasn't been cleaned up yet.
Buy the novel Chaos Machine by Judas Falling and support the show.
In Millington's author bio, he claims to have 20 million words published in 3 continents.
What an odd way to describe decades of investigative journalism.
Millington is a corporate copywriter. Every time you've read one of those lame, soulless, jargon-filled pieces of corporate literature on a company's website, a glossy business brochure, an internal policy paper, or a business-to-business document, a corporate copywriter has written it.
Hi there, can I buy you a drink?
No, thank you.
You know, I'm a writer.
Oh, really? Have you written anything I might know?
That depends. Did you ever read McAllister and McLean Interdepartmental Memo on HR Policy Updates of June 2007?
Millington claims,
I am a journalist and have approached this whole subject with an open-minded, investigative attitude and am only interested in the truth.
Oh dear, I hear alarm bells. Can anyone else hear alarm bells? It sounds like alarm bells.
Millington also claims,
I was one of those cynics who laughed at those who believe in the devil. Then I heard his voice and everything changed.
People do say I have a wonderful voice.
I don't know when Millington heard Old Scratch's voice, lost his cynicism, and everything changed, but in 2015 he published
Return of the Fallen Angels,
in which he once again claimed to be a journalist seeking the truth who happened to have recorded demonic voices. He warned,
do not listen to these voices if you are of a nervous disposition.
Because you'll get very agitated realizing Millington has tricked you out of your money.
Again, I can't pin down when exactly Millington lost his cynicism and everything changed, but in 2014 he published
Transdimensional Communication, Tales of a Battery-Powered Psychic Medium,
where Millington once again claims to have
the inquiring mind of an investigative journalist.
You know, no matter how many times you say it, it doesn't make it true. It's like Judas. Every day I see him standing in front of the mirror saying, I'm a successful podcaster. I'm a successful podcaster.
In Transdimensional Communication, Tales of a Battery-Powered Psychic Medium, Millington
writes about numerous spiritual experiences, including a direct answer to prayer, an 8-hour mystical encounter, and meeting a strange man with the stigmata.
Yes. I also remember the first time I did mushrooms.
And again, not sure when Millington's cynicism went out the window, but back in 2005 he published a book and CD combo called
One White Crow,
where you could
hear the human soul speak. Approached with an open mind, this book CD provides irrefutable evidence for communication with and survival of the human soul.
So yeah, what have we learned about Roderick Millington? Probably not an investigative journalist, and unlikely to have ever been cynical about the existence of the devil.
I do think he's telling the truth about the open mind, though. Like, it's so open it's a gaping hole.
What do I hope we've learned in general throughout this episode? When people make up a lie, it's weighted by 2 factors. How intelligent they think you are, and how intelligent they are. When Satan gets thrown into a story, it's either aimed at someone very stupid or has been made up by someone very stupid.
I must be really dumb. Oh Lord, I must be really dumb.
Whenever someone evokes the devil in the narrative, they have something to gain. They want your vote, your money, or to harm a competitor. There are no exceptions to this rule.
You use my name all the time. I mean, it's literally in the title.
I will end on the one and only review ever written for any of Roderick Millington's books. This review is on Goodreads for The Devil's Playground.
The worst book I've ever read. I'd give it 1/10 of a star if I could. This guy has the IQ of a baked potato.
That's an insult to the intelligence of baked potatoes.
And that's why Satan is my superhero. If you've enjoyed this episode, please rate, review, subscribe, you know the drill. But more importantly, please recommend this show to just one person. I mean literally one person. Choose that person well.
You have reached Proctor & Gamble. If you would like to speak to one of our sales representatives, press 1.
Hey, what's TT's doing in a sketch?
It's because I am very funny.
If you say so.
I'm expanding my artistic horizons. I'm going to try singing next. I wanna be cool. I wanna be cool.
Oh dear.